Thank you for clicking on this Swift video, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can start working with segues. So how you can go from one view controller over to another view controller, and I'm going to show you two ways of doing just that. One, the simplest thing you can think of, it's a very simple way to do it, and the second one is also very simple, but this second method involves some coding. So I'm going to show you how to implement both methods in this video right here, so you can start segueing from one view controller over to the next one. As promised, I'm going to show you two ways to work with segues, and the first one is incredibly simple. It's almost too simple, and the second one is great if you want to call a segue in your code, and of course I'm going to show you how to do both of them. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a new project. I'm going to call it segues. Make sure that the language is set to Swift, click next, save it somewhere on your computer. I'm going to put it in full screen, and let's see what we are going to do. Okay, we're going to have one view controller, so now I have two view controllers basically, and then I'm going to have one more, just to illustrate both methods. So I'm going to, just so you see that we have actually transitioned, I'm going to just put a label here and a label right here. This one I'm going to call yes, for the lack of a better and creative thing to write, and this one I'm going to call no. And yep, right here I'm going to have two buttons. This button right here is going to transition to the view controller that says yes. And this button right here is going to, that was an awesome button. And okay, I've copied that from a previous project, so let's just use that one. This one is going to say no, and this one is going to say, if that's an awesome button, you can see my standards for design isn't that high. So here I have two buttons, yes and no. This yes is going to take me to that one. This no, this button is going to take me to that one. And just so I'm able to go back to the my main storyboard, I'm going to have a back button right there. Okay? So that's cool, that's awesome. Now, here's the first way of performing a segue. It's just simply clicking on the button, control dragging over to the other view controller, and just click show. That's how simple it is, and now every time you click the back button, it's going to take you to this view controller. I'm going to do the exact same thing here, just control dragging over to this one and clicking on show. That's all set up, and now I'm going to also have, I'm going to show you how to do it programmatically. Of course you could just do the exact same thing right here, but I'm not going to do that because that wouldn't be as fun. So let's see. Make sure that you select this view controller, control drag from that view controller over, let's see, click there, and then control drag over to the view controller and click on show. And click that segue and then name it yes. Click on that button, control drag, no, sorry, almost did the easy thing here. Click on the view controller, control drag over to this view controller and click show and call that segue. Let's see if we can find it in all this. I think that's the right one, and call it no. Okay, so now we have made two segues with an identifier yes and one segue with the identifier no. So now we're just going to connect that in our code. We're going to import both buttons. First the yes button, call it yes. It's going to be an action, connect it up, and then we're going to have the second button, which I'm going to call no, and then it's also going to be an action. Connect that up, and now to the code thing. All we are going to do is we're going to say perform segue with identifier, and the first identifier was no. Sender is going to be self, And the second one, let's see, the button that's going to take us to this one was the no button. So now we're going to perform segue with identifier yes, and the sender is going to be the self. So now we have implemented two ways of segueing from one view controller over to the other. The first method is simply control dragging. The second one is control dragging from one view controller over to another view controller, then naming that view controller something, giving that giving that segue an identifier, and then calling on that identifier when you want the segue to happen. So let's click on yes. Here we go, yes. Oh, the back button is gone because I didn't realign it properly, but believe me, it does work. These are the two ways. Let's see, just so you can see, I'm going to align it with some constraints. Let's see, let's do it like this. Let's launch it one more time, and you will see that this actually works, and this isn't something that I'm just telling you that works, because I could do that, but I'm not going to do that. So let's see, I'm going to click yes. Here we have it, it says yes. Let's go back. We're back, click no, it says no. So that's how you do it. That's two ways of performing a segue, either control dragging from a button to a view controller, or control dragging from a view controller over to another view controller, naming that segue, giving that segue an identifier, and then calling upon that identifier when you want to perform the segue. So that's how easy it is. Now go ahead and implement it into your app. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure that you click the subscribe button so that you are tuned for my future videos. Once again, thank you for watching.